Okay, so the world of DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and blockchain projects generally, it's absolutely buzzing, isn't it?
It really is, everywhere you look.
Yeah, and everyone's talking about decentralization. But here's the thing, how do you actually know?
Yeah.
How decentralized is a project, really?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, it's not just academic, it's like fundamental. It's about trust.
Absolutely. Trust is everything here.
So today we're doing a deep dive. We're looking closely at a specific project called Metal Blockchain Ops v0.1.2. It's developed by Austin Auger, a community member. And our mission, really, is to figure out how this thing is creating, well, measurable transparency for decentralization.
Yeah, verifiable transparency.
Exactly. Verifiable. Within Metal Blockchain, yes, but maybe even, beyond that.
That's the potential for sure, cutting through the noise.
Breaking through the buzzwords.
Yeah.
We want quantifiable reality.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that, there's so much information out there. Information overload is real. And claims are easy to make. So verifying decentralization, it's not just important, it's like paramount.
Right.
And this project, it tackles that head on. It takes this concept, decentralization, which can be pretty abstract, right?
Pretty abstract.
And it turns it into something concrete, something you can actually check, something understandable.
So not just a feeling, but actual data.
Exactly. It's about building a real framework for trust, which honestly, the whole ecosystem needs if it's going to mature.
Okay, so let's get into it. At the heart of this is OCPS, OpenChain Profile Standard. What's that designed to do? What's the goal?
Right, OCPS. So specifically version 1.1.2, because it's iterative. It's a community-driven format for transparency profiles.
Community-driven. Okay.
Yeah, that's important. Its main goal is to give you measurable decentralization data for DAOs, other projects, initially focused on the metal blockchain space.
Measurable data? Like what kind of data?
Think of it like a detailed health check for how decentralized something is. It aims to document really meticulously and certify different metrics.
Metrics like?
Well, crucial things like governance structure, how decisions are really made, token distribution, is it concentrated or spread out, the overall organizational setup.
Gotcha.
It's about getting past the vague statements, we're decentralized, and getting to, hard, auditable facts.
Okay, so if you're someone who keeps hearing decentralization thrown around, but you're thinking, okay, prove it, OCPS sounds like it's trying to be that proof.
Yeah.
Delivering quantifiable reality.
Yeah.
And you mentioned portable formats, verifiable snapshots. That sounds useful.
Incredibly useful.
For anyone trying to assess a project, really, an investor, a developer, even just a user trying to figure out who to trust.
Yeah.
What's the impact of having those verifiable snapshots?
Yeah, those verifiable snapshots are absolutely key. The impact is pretty profound, actually, for a lot of different people.
Okay.
So imagine you're an investor, you're looking at a DAO, trying to gauge risk, long-term viability.
Right. Standard due diligence.
Exactly. But this isn't just some report someone wrote that could, disappear or be changed later. This is a provable, time-stamped record. It's tied to a unique content identifier, a CID on IPFS.
Ah, okay. Immutable.
Immutable. It means the data you see today, it's guaranteed to be the same data anyone sees tomorrow or next year for an audit. That specific snapshot in time is locked.
Wow, okay.
For developers integrating, it's a stable, reliable data source. For auditors, regulators, maybe down the line, it's an unalterable audit trail.
That feels like a big step up.
It really is. It cuts down on that information asymmetry where the project knows more than the public and helps build genuine confidence.
So given that need for provable trust, how does OCPS actually do it? What are the mechanics? What makes the proof so solid?
Okay, yeah, good question. There are really 3 critical features that make this work in practice, make it robust and verifiable.
Feature 1.
First, multiple output format. So the profiles, the transparency data, you can get it in YAML, JSON, and PDF.
Okay, why those 3?
Well, that flexibility is super important. It caters to different needs, right? If you're a developer, maybe building analytics tools or integrating systems.
You need structured data.
Exactly. You need machine-readable stuff like JSON or YAML. Easy for computers to parse, integrate, analyze automatically.
Makes sense.
But if you're, say, a stakeholder, maybe less technical, or an auditor writing a report, or just someone curious.
You want something you can just read.
Right. A clear PDF report is much easier for humans to digest quickly. So this approach makes sure the data is useful for, well, pretty much everyone involved, machines and humans.
So not just throwing data out there, but thinking about who needs it and how they'll use it. That's smart. How did they land on the specific formats? Was there a debate or?
I suspect it came from understanding the ecosystem. YAML and JSON are staples for developers needing programmatic access. Think automated compliance checks, integrating with dApps, researchers doing large-scale analysis across many DAOs.
Right, the technical backbone.
And PDF. It's universal for human readability. Sharing findings within a community, presenting to non-technical stakeholders, it just works. So having both broadens the impact massively.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So multiple formats is number one. What's number two?
Number two is IPFS-pinned transparency certificates.
IPFS, Interplanetary File System.
That's the one. So to guarantee integrity, like we talked about, and public verifiability, these profiles are pinned to IPFS.
Pinned, meaning?
Meaning they're stored on this decentralized network in a way that ensures they stick around. Think of IPFS like a global distributed hard drive. Files get a unique address based on their content.
The CID.
Yeah. Exactly, the content identifier. And once it's pinned, it's basically permanent and publicly accessible. It can't be easily changed or deleted like a file on a company server.
So no take-backsies, no conveniently lost reports.
Precisely. You can't censor it. The server can't just go offline. It's a fundamental shift away from relying on centralized points of failure or control for this crucial data.
Okay, that's a really strong foundation. Decentralized and immutable storage. What's the third piece?
The third feature really locks it down. On-chain attestation via XPR Network.
On-chain attestation. So
yeah.
Using a blockchain itself.
Yes. This takes the verifiability up another notch. So the repository where this stuff lives, it logs a memo directly onto the blockchain on the XPR Network ledger.
And what's in that memo?
It records two key things: the specific OCPS version being used for that profile and the IPFS CID of that profile.
Linking the profile standard version to the specific data snapshot.
Exactly. And crucially, it's attested by Austin Auger, in this case meaning signed cryptographically. This uses the blockchain for decentralized timestamping and auditability.
Like a digital notary stamp almost.
That's a great analogy. It creates an unforgeable, tamper-proof proof that this specific profile content, identified by the CID, existed in this specific format version, the OCPS version, at this exact point in time recorded on the blockchain.
Wow.
So you connect the dots. IPFS for the permanent, immutable storage of the profile itself. And then the on-chain attestation as this rock-solid proof that the profile existed, what it contained, and when. Together, it builds an incredibly robust, unalterable audit trail for any decentralization claims.
That's pretty comprehensive. A real 1-2 punch for transparency.
It really is. Provable transparency.
It definitely sounds like they're thinking hard about integration, making this data trustworthy, verifiable. Does it play nice with other standards out there? Interoperability is always a big question, right?
Yes, absolutely. And they've addressed that. OCPS is specifically designed to complement EIP 4824.
EIP 4824. Refresh my memory on that one.
Sure. EIP 4824 is an Ethereum standard focused on DAO meta decanasocarate Basically, the where can I find information about a DAO, standardizing how DAOs publish pointers to their info.
Okay, so EIP 4824 helps you find the DAO stuff.
Right. And OCPS then comes in and defines the what. What specific decentralization metrics are actually being recorded and shared in that stuff you found.
I see. So they work together. EIP 4824 finds the profile. OCPS defines what's in the profile regarding decentralization.
Exactly. Hand in hand for a much more complete picture. It's foundational. And looking ahead, the project is also planning for things like exporting to JSON LD.
JSON LD, linked data.
Yeah, a format for linked data. And adopting the DAO URI protocol.
A standard way to link to DAOs.
Right. All aimed at boosting cross-chain interoperability, making sure OCPS profiles can slot into different ecosystems seamlessly. The goal seems to be a universal standard.
That foresight is pretty impressive. Thinking about future integration now. Why that focus? Why link up with EIP 4824 and plan for JSON LD and DAO? Feels like a bigger vision than just Metal Blockchain.
Oh, definitely. The thinking seems to be all about ecosystem-wide value. By aligning with EIP 4824, OCPS data isn't stuck in a silo. Tools already using EIP 4824 can potentially discover and use OCPS profiles more easily.
Reduces friction for adoption.
Exactly. And planning for JSON LD and the DAO URI, that's about weaving OCPS into the very fabric of Web3. Imagine being able to click a standard DAO link and pull up a standardized, verifiable OCPS transparency profile, regardless of the underlying chain.
Okay, yeah, that makes it truly useful across the board.
It's about building bridges between these different decentralized islands, creating a common language for trust and verification.
And I saw something. Honestly, I love this analogy. A DAO Nutrition Label.
Yeah. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It really is. Because who hasn't squinted at a food label trying to figure out what hydrogenated oils really means for them? It feels like the same problem for DAOs, right? All this complex info.
Exactly. And it's not just a catchy phrase. It tackles a genuine communication hurdle. How do you take complex stuff, governance rules, tokenomics, treasury details, all super technical, and make it instantly graspable for someone who isn't, a blockchain PhD?
Right. The average user or even a busy investor.
That's where the DAO Nutrition Label concept comes in. The project actually provides a lot of great documentation. There's a visiondoc.md, a publisexplainer.md, a roadmap, v0.2 roadmap.md.
Okay.
And among all the technical stuff, like the schema definitions, metal blockchain, ops.json, YAML, contribution guides, code of conduct, they've developed these visuals. The DAO Nutrition Label is the star example.
A visual summary.
Yes. Displaying complex transparency data in a really user-friendly, easy-to-digest format. Just like scanning a food label for the key facts, calories, fat, sugar.
That clicks immediately.
It does, and it highlights a critical question. How do you translate all this technical rigor into something immediately understandable for, everyone? The nutrition label is a fantastic answer. It democratizes access to this vital decentralization info.
That feels key for pushing this beyond just the deeply technical crowd. Okay, so the project offers a lot already. Verifiable data, multiple formats, the nutrition label concept.
Yeah.
What's next? What's on the roadmap for OCPS v0.2?
Right. v0.2 looks set to build on this strong foundation, making it even easier to use and more widespread. Several key things planned.
Okay.
First, standardization of the DAO Nutrition Label. The idea is to formalize it, make it a widely adopted, recognizable standard visual.
So you'd instantly recognize it on any DAO profile.
That's the goal. A common language for assessing decentralization visually.
Nice. What else?
Second, automated workflows. This is big. They plan to use GitHub Actions to automate the IPFS pinning and the on-chain attestation.
So less manual work for projects using it.
Way less. Imagine a project just updates its profile file in their repository, commits the change, and boom, the system automatically pins the new version to IPFS and logs the attestation on-chain.
That's a game changer for keeping profiles up to date. Continuous transparency almost effortlessly.
Exactly. It dramatically lowers the barrier for projects to maintain their transparency.
Less friction means more participation, more consistent data, and it's total sense for driving adoption.
Precisely. And that ties into the third point, an improved contributor experience.
Making it easier for DAOs to actually submit their profiles.
Yeah. Streamlining the process, making it really user-friendly, encouraging more projects, more communities to actually adopt OCPS and create these profiles with minimal hassle.
Good. And number 4.
Number 4 is educational content. They're planning to create clear tutorials, guides, community materials.
Helping people understand how to use it and why it matters.
Exactly. Tutorials on doing the on-chain attestation, understanding the profiles, contributing, empowering the community, regardless of technical depth, to really engage with the standard.
That's crucial for building a real ecosystem around it.
Absolutely. And like we touched on before, those future goals like JSON LD export and adopting the DAO URI protocol are also part of making it a truly universal, interoperable standard.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. What does this mean for you, the listener? We've just done a pretty deep dive into Metal Blockchain Ops v0.1.2. It's Austin Auger's project. And it seems clear from the multi-format outputs, the clever use of IPFS pinning, that XPR Network attestation. This whole thing is genuinely trying to make decentralization, measurable. Verifiable, right? Understandable. Not just for techies, but for everyone in Web3.
Yeah, I think this project marks a really significant step. A step towards a decentralized future that's more accountable, more transparent.
Accountable is a good word.
It is. By giving us clear, provable metrics and these user-friendly tools like the DAO Nutrition Label, it really empowers people, builders, investors, users. Everyone can make more informed decisions.
Cuts through the marketing hype.
Totally. And fundamentally, it fosters that desperately needed layer of trust in the Web3 space, moving from just believing claims to actually verifying them.
So for you listening, whether you're maybe building a dApp or thinking about investing in a DAO, or maybe you're just like really curious about how these things actually work under the hood, understanding standards like OCPS seems pretty critical. It's about getting the tools to see beneath the surface, right? To actually gauge if a project's decentralization claims hold water.
It lets you separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. The genuinely decentralized projects from those just, using the buzzword.
Right. Okay, so here's a final thought to maybe chew on as we wrap up.
Okay.
Imagine if standards like OCPS Universal Verifiable Transparency Standards became the absolute norm. Like every single DAO, every blockchain project adopted something like this.
Wow, okay. That's a big shift.
Yeah. How might that fundamentally change things? How we define trust, where capital flows, how governance actually operates in this digital world?
That's a fascinating question. What new kinds of collaboration could emerge? What innovations? Maybe even how regulators approach the space.
If every project essentially had its nutrition label out there, open, provable, understood by everyone, what does that unlock? Something to think about.